Howdy folks, welcome to another beautiful day out here in West Van. Temperature is actually just nice, it's beautiful, it's sunny, but we still get our cold days. Anyway, today I want to talk about food prices, well in particularly more fresh fruit prices. And the reason why is because I just went to the shop and I kind of bought a bunch of fruit and veg, and suddenly I'm like, what? I look at the bill, I mean, it's expensive. So I thought what I'll do is I'll show you what I bought and what it costs, and you know, and then I actually also ran across this article that was talking about fruit production and veg production in Canada. So I'm going to give you a few stats from there at the end of the video as well. But anyway, so firstly, let's look at the prices. There we go, Loblaws Park Royale. So I mean, we love cherries, so I picked up a bag of cherries. Now the cherries is 920 grams of cherries, and that is $14.18. Because the nice thing they do with the cherries and the grapes and stuff, now I know this is not local produce, this is imported, and that's why it comes at a premium, but I mean what they normally do is they don't tell you that it's $14 a pack. They put a per pound price on there. So it's like $6.99 for a pound. And you know what happens? You walk past and you go, oh, $6.99 for a bag of cherries, because, I mean, that's how we all operate, unless you specifically go and check. I mean, well, I do in any case. I know a lot of people do. You're just like, oh, $6.99, oh, that's fine. That's not too bad. And then you check your slip afterwards and it's $14.18 for that little pack of cherries. Just like ridiculous, honestly. And then we've got the English cucumbers. That's $2 per cucumber. That's actually not so bad. I mean, that's fair. That's kind of what they cost normally. And at least they marked at $1.99, so you know what they cost. Then we've got the little baby peppers. Angelique actually loves eating this, and I eat poke bowls and tacos and stuff, and I also enjoy putting a fresh pepper. I try to do a lot more fresh fruit and veg, which is ironic because 10 years ago I didn't eat any fresh fruit and veg, and I lived in South Africa where fresh fruit and veg were like ample. Over here, now that I want to eat fresh fruit and veg, it's ridiculously expensive and there's shortages. But anyway, so this bag of peppers is $5, which is half a kilo, 454 grams. So it's $10 a kilo for little bell peppers. Hence, I've planted my own because, you know, it's actually getting very expensive. Next, we have our tomatoes, 5 Roma tomatoes. And they cost $4.81 for the 5 tomatoes. So it's almost $1 a tomato. It's, yeah, it's like, I mean, if you start adding it up, and I know I'm doing it right now, I'm thinking in terms of ZAR, South African rands, and I'm like, shit, $13 for a little tomato, that sounds horrible. And I shouldn't. I know I shouldn't. I've been here for more than 2 years. I should think in dollars because I earn dollars. But it still puts it in perspective. It is expensive. Of course, the one that shocked me the most, oranges. I bought 5 oranges. And that's $8.10 for 5 oranges. It's like, whoa, man. I like oranges. But like, wow, that's a lot. And then, of course, the last one, which is actually, I guess, a bargain, a whole bag of lemons for $6.99, and you get 1,000 points with it. You get 1,000 points, which works out to about $1. So it's about $5.99 for a bag of lemons. That's not bad. Anyway, I think the point I'm trying to make is that fresh fruit and veg is actually fairly expensive in Canada. So I was just sitting there and, you know, as luck would have it, I was complaining to Belinda about the prices of the fresh fruit and veg, and then we saw this article where they were talking about fresh fruit and veg. So I thought there's a few interesting facts that I will give through to you. So fresh fruit availability, it's a study that they just brought out by Census Canada, or one of Statistics Canada. So fresh fruit availability declined by over 5% in 2020 from 2021 to 2022. So in 2022 there was only 72.9 kilos fresh fruit available per person in Canada, which was 5% less than in 2021. Which is weird because domestic fruit production actually increased by 12.7%. So domestic fruit production increased quite a bit, but availability declined. And why? Because they are exporting. So what's happening is they're exporting a lot and there's less imports. Because obviously it's becoming more expensive to import as well, which is, you know, it is what it is with the war in Ukraine and everything going on, which we've all grown so used to, we don't talk about it anymore. But it is still putting strain on supply chains worldwide, whether we like it or not. Then the interesting fresh vegetable availability, excluding potatoes, that's just all the other veggies, has decreased by 6% from 2021 to 2022. So there's 6% less. Now, what does a decrease mean? It means there's less available. And what does that mean? It means the prices go up. It's more expensive. Anyway, so fresh vegetable availability has decreased by 6%. And once again, Canada actually had a huge vegetable production increase of also like 10 or 12%. So Canada is making more vegetables locally, but we are not importing enough and we are exporting some because, hey, I suppose you get better prices for it somewhere else in the world. And if you're a supplier, you're going to sell it. So Canadian food industry sectors experienced record production in 2022. We actually did really, really well. And I mean, I can imagine, because that was what blew my mind. All of these things are so expensive, but there's like, geez, man, you must just drive out here towards Chilliwack and those areas, the farming areas, these greenhouses that the guys have gone up. I mean, Canada is one of the leaders in producing vegetables in greenhouses hydroponically. I mean, it is amazing the stuff that they're doing. But anyway, and they reckon it's still supply chain issues. Shipping delays, labor shortages still is a big problem. And when we say labor shortages, it's weird because it's like, you know, you hear about people looking for jobs and you hear about, tech workers being laid off and things like that, and it's harsh. But at the same time, the ferries can't run because they don't have people on to actually workers for the ferry. They're struggling with production because labor shortages. I guess it's more like, you know, labor, the workers, the people that don't sit behind the computer. What else is there in this article that was interesting? War in Ukraine, yeah, energy costs was factors affecting food availability. Oh, wow, here's an interesting one. So food inflation in Canada outpaced overall inflation, with grocery prices increasing by 9.8% in 2022 compared to 2021. And I can still see it. I mean, I can still see that the prices are going up. It's not coming down. Milk availability decreased by nearly 4%. Due to a drop in production of 1% and 2% milk. Well, okay, at least here's one good thing for us biltong lovers. Red meat availability increased by 4.3%, driven by increased cattle slaughter, and poultry availability increased by 1.5% in 2022. So that's just a couple of interesting facts around the whole food situation. But I can definitely tell you that going to the store and buying groceries, it's weird though, because I suppose, yeah, it's weird though, because, you know, it's not super expensive if you're earning dollars, but it's actually a lot more expensive than when we got here originally. And you know, it is expensive. Fresh fruit and veg is like driving prices through the roof. I actually have my first little strawberry. It looks a little bit wonky, but it's just turning red. So hopefully we'll have our own veggies soon, because it's also another thing I didn't buy today was lettuce, because we eat a lot of greens, lettuce and kale and stuff like that. That is just ridiculous. I mean, it's $6 for a little bunch of kale. It's like $8 for a thing of lettuce, and they don't last very long. Luckily, we have that little bags, those little cloth bags that Belinda found that keeps it lasting a little bit longer. But I mean, I can tell you what, when production starts here and we don't have to buy tomatoes and lettuce and kale and all those things, we're actually going to save a lot of money, and I can see it every single day when I go and buy veggies. I just wish these would go faster now. Anyway, folks, so that's it. You all must have an absolutely beautiful day, and we'll chat again soon. Cheers.